Hey, hi, hello, welcome back, Alexandrian Codex. Point 4. It's the New Order, United States. It's the year 1965, and LBJ has just won the presidential election, despite my attempts to get Robert Kennedy into office. The United States is very divided on political lines. The NPP represent a little less than 50% of the populace, while the Republican Democrats make up about 56%. If we look at Congress, 56 votes belong to Republican Democrats, whereas 42 belong to the NPP. The National Populist Party continues to grow election after election after election. Let's see what this year holds. We've just wrapped up by the end of October of 1964, wrapped up the South African War, and now I'm quietly anticipating the breakout of the Indonesian War. But, you know, may happen, may not happen. Don't know how randomized that is. I've only played through, tested it out once. I'm short on anti-tank equipment. Am I? Oh, yes. I am ramping up production, so that should catch up. 1965 means that we have new industry techs available, which is fantastic. Is that really the one I should open with? Max factories per state. Do any of these just straight up boost construction speed? I mean, no. Let's go with early industrial robots. And then, oh yeah, full industry. Hell yes. Never played as LBJ. I've always gotten old Bobby Kennedy in my... That's not true. I've gotten Bobby Kennedy and accidentally gotten the borderline fascist. but I was hoping for Bobby. Lyndon Johnson, trustworthy new face of the Republican Party, took the oath this morning at the Capitol, was formally inaugurated as President of the United States to thunderous applause from thousands gathered at the mall. Stepping to the podium, President Johnson faced the television cameras and spoke to the nation. My fellow countrymen, the oath I've taken before God is not mine alone, but ours together. We're one nation and one people. Our future as a people rests not on individuals, but on all citizens working together to a greater cause. Our nation's journey towards the Great Society shall continue on, always trying and always gaining in the cause to build a greater America for those who will come after us, so they will not have to suffer the same injustices that plague so many Americans today. In a land of bountiful wealth, people go hungry. In a land of peerless scholars, children are unable to read and write. In a land of healing miracles, our neighbors suffer and die. This should not be so. Before this generation of Americans is finished, our enemies of poverty, of injustice, of inequality will not just retreat, but be conquered. When any citizen denies his fellow, saying his color's not mine, in that moment, he betrays America. The Great Society insists upon the liberty of all Americans to pursue happiness, no matter their color. Each of us must find our own way to advance the purpose of the Great Society. It's in this that our course is abundantly clear. The president stepped down from the podium, smiling and waving to the cheering masses as he made his way to the statuary hall to enjoy the traditional Congressional luncheon. There would be time enough for widespread national change after he'd eaten. Alright, Johnny boy, what are we looking at here? Wow, your tree is so much more linear than Kennedy's. Kennedy is all over the place. So we can start with the military outlook. Start getting some benefits for our military. You know, that's interesting. I won't lie to you. That's very interesting. I'm gonna pass on that, though, TBH. I want to fix our fucking country first. So the Johnson presidency. After more than a year of hard campaigning, from primaries to general election, President Lyndon Baines Johnson, oh, it's Baines, not Bird, I've been saying Bird, in the Oval Office. Campaigning under bold claims of a great society, he plans to reshape America by any means necessary. These planned reforms represent a continuation of Kennedy's touch of progressivism and will truly change the fabric of the nation. Sweeping civil rights legislation, Medicare for all, ending the poverty-stricken state of so much of the country. In addition, Johnson also claims he will improve the military, reforming it into a fighting machine fit for the modern world. However, before he can begin his planned cascade of reforms to change the fabric of American society, he must gain the nation's trust. In his inaugural address, Johnson will bring the entire country up to speed on his plans and their future. I'm not reading this again. We just had a Johnson event. I don't need two. Yes, I've had one Johnson event, but why not two? Your mom lets you have two Johnson events? We could read 3 paragraphs about Lyndon Johnson. I'm good. I'm good. I know. I know enough about him. There's enough text thrown at me that I'm gonna go slow. My fellow countrymen, on this occasion, the oath that I have taken before you is not one that I take alone, but one that we take together. We are one nation and one people. We may have different colors or speak different tongues, but the banner which we follow remains the same. We are Americans, and as such, we must work together for the further betterment of our country. Work together for the creation of a great society. For the past few decades, life in America has been greatly diminished. The recessions of the 30s and 50s, the loss in the World War, the Agaki Accords, and so on. Our nation has faced hardship for so long and suffered so much, it's easy to forget what we once were and what we could be. America as a whole is strong, but her people do not reflect such. And I already read this. Hold on a minute. I read this bit. This is essentially the same thing I just read. Okay. Yes, we've had one inauguration speech, but why not another one? No. No. No, 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 no. Let's get the legacy of Kennedy. You know what? Let's get the mistakes of Nixon. Wow, we unify the party? My God. So, okay, these are unifying the party, secure congressional support, for the good of America, the Great Society, expand civil rights, education, welfare. There's a lot here, man. There's a lot here. Goddamn. Okay, well, let's fix the mistakes of Nixon. President Nixon's administration was, for a lack of a better term, disastrous. During his term, South African War began, civil rights came to a head, and the United States suffered the worst presidential scandal in its short history. After his resignation, still during his term, his successor, John F. Kennedy, was assassinated. If Johnson is to gain the trust of the public back towards not only himself, but the Republican-Democrat Party as a whole, he must assure the people that these issues will be solved. Assurances that the war in South Africa will be won. It's already won, baby. That full equality of the race is achieved. No scandal or corruption will occur. Fingers crossed. Oh my God, they have 2 stability. It's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad. Sucks to be you. I'm not doing any of the events that can help you out because I don't believe that they work. They may work. I just don't buy it. The Kennedy presidency, though tragically cut short, represented possibly the best Republican candidate, best the Republican Democrats could be. His few short, optimistic months were possibly the most important in determining the future of not just the Republican Democrats, but America as a whole. Just as we admonish the mistakes of Nixon, if we're to survive our current state, we must also continue the legacy of Kennedy. President Johnson will carry Kennedy's torch of progressivism and unity until America is once more. It's funny, Johnson, really did not like Kennedy. He really hated being compared to President Kennedy. Unsurprisingly. Really unsurprisingly. There we go. How are we doing on those anti-tank guns? Yeah, they're catching up. Forwards together. It's time we move forward together. The pains of the past decade, with our humiliation and distrust that citizens have with the government, must come to an end. The country needs to take better care of its citizens, and in order to do that, we must endeavor to bring forth a program to help all Americans and further unite our country to a greater society. A greater society that helps Americans of all classes, colors, and convictions so that they do not suffer because of conditions that are not always in their control. Not always. It's a very silly way of saying almost never in their control, but sure. Okay, we're caught up on anti-air. I don't think I'm ever going to need that much AA. Let's start pumping out basic fighters. Attack bombers and CAS. Nope. Wrong form of CAS. CAS. Yeah, because this'll fix itself. That'll be fine. What do I need? Rubber. Unsurprising. I'm not getting the full amount from Central Africa, probably because they're producing stuff on their own. Fair enough. South Africa would just give me 1 for 8. Same with Brazil. But Brazil here, importantly, would not require a convoy. So I'm going to preferentially trade with them, even though South Africa is in our little alliance. Ugly truth. Hospitals are flooded with victims. Homesteads burn in the country, and German people scream for justice. News is flooded out of the Greater German Reich concerning the recent discovery of great crimes committed by the rebellious territories of the former general government. The Polish state has been accused of brutal reprisals against German settlers in formerly occupied territories, forcing them from their homes, or worse. Photographs of mass graves have been revealed, apparently confirming the atrocities. The Polish state has rejected these claims outright, instead insisting that the German Reich has committed countless crimes against the Polish people with the intent to eradicate them outright. These claims were drowned out by the sheer size of the German media apparatus. Despite the evidence provided by the Reich, many governments remain suspicious of these claims. Führer Bormann's government has a tendency towards outrageous claims and underhanded practices. Uh-oh, Poland. Uh-oh, get the old... I'm gonna need both of these, right? Okay, doesn't matter which one I do. Great Society, event. This will get political power now. Let's lay the groundwork. Policy analysts, researchers, economists, and public administrators who have had experience in running domestic programs will be needed in order to prepare the greatest reform in American history. We must gather all of them to start hammering out the policy alongside various political committees working in Congress. Let us make sure we have a bill worth fighting for. Yo, free military factories. How about them apples? Pump that up to 2 and call me in the morning. I think it was 75 army experience that we're gonna need to revise our armies. Yeah, it's gonna be a hot fucking minute. We'll get there. President Lyndon Baines Johnson sat in the Oval Office, opposite of Vice President Edmund Muskie and Senator Nelson Rockefeller. Fuck, you got Rockefeller's senator, all right? So, began President Johnson, sitting at the Resolute desk. The Great Society. Tested the waters, got the votes. What exactly are we going to push forward? Edmund Muskie scratched his chin, eyeing Johnson warily. Thought we'd figured that out a long time ago. Things have changed, Ed. Johnson replies. We've made compromises to get support that we have. Now what are the major things we could get away with? Won't give up on the civil rights push. Kennedy died for it and won't let his death be in vain. More than just voting security as well. I want the whole racist institutionalized disease ripped out, root and stem. Fair enough, said Rockefeller. Could probably get that through without much issue. Think we should throw in some anti-poverty legislation too. Still in a recession, Johnson. Not sure what the bills would precisely entail, but we should probably include them. Fair enough. Ed, you said something at one point about Environmental Protection Acts, right? Muskie nods. All right then. Triad of civil rights, social programs, and environmental protections. Burgundian bunkers. Shocking news out of the hermit state of Europe today, as the Swiss government confirms that Burgundy has been working on construction of a large series of bunkers in the Western Alps. The move has earned more scorn from critics of the Reich, who say that they are hidey holes for Burgundian leadership in the case of the armed conflict with Germany. The Ordnungsstaat, a rare communication with the outside world, has issued condemnation of the insidious lies of the Swiss, but has not denied that they are building bunkers. It remains to be seen why they're wasting time on this matter. They're going all Fallout on us. Introduce the concept. That should say concept, I'm pretty sure. That ain't right. Next, we must start introducing the idea of our Great Society Bill to the public. Must explain to them our ideal goal is in reforming our country to make it fair for all Americans. Must show them we ideally want to make every American wealthier, happier, and more free. It's not more freer, it's just more free in their lives. More freer in their lives! Our introduction will start in major universities, then major cities, then massive venues to make people excited for our Great Society Bill. The people must feel excited in order for public support to rise. I mean, you already got the support for the bill. I made damn sure of that by getting so many progressives in office. But sure. Let's act like this war is still going on and I don't have the support. Yo, free military factories. Dope. Okay. Hypothetically, if I were to do what I want to do, what would that require? In terms of APCs, in terms of material, how much do I need to produce that I don't already have? Right, let's... Scout helicopter, helicopter support artillery, engineer company, and I don't know, signal company? Field hospital would give us trickleback. That'd be nice. More HP. MP's also quite nice. Nah. Say signal companies. Why not? What would I need? I would need... Design is too expensive. Yeah, it really is, but we'll get around to it. I need probably a bunch of shit I currently don't have. Let's see. Scout helicopters. Yeah, we'll definitely need more of those. Infantry equipment. Let's double up on that for the time being, and then... So long as we don't have any outstanding candidates here. Double up on the production of just about everything. And then we'll give our planes some much needed help rather than just ignoring them. Yeah, you know, once we get more plane designs, I might be interested, but for the time being, I don't know. A few months of wrangling behind closed doors and spirited speculation from the press, President Johnson today finally unveiled his Great Society program in full detail to the American public. In a speech given during a guest appearance at the University of Michigan, Johnson laid out the ways his project would tackle poverty, racial injustice, education, healthcare, and transportation. Amongst other aspects, American society is in need of reform. Vowing to overhaul the country in our cities, in our countryside, and in our classrooms, The president expressed his firm belief that the Great Society is exactly what the country needs in these trying times. His speech drew applause from those in attendance and from many within the Republican Democrats. However, his plans are not without opposition. With the war in South Africa still raging on, many question whether America can afford his proposed programs on top of the money vanishing into that quagmire. What money? What quagmire? It's done, baby. We won. In addition, some voices within the far right, NPP, and Democrats murmur that many of Johnson's initiatives will be a gross overreach of government authority, with at least one far-right senator reportedly denouncing him as a power-hungry proto-fascist. For the next few months, President Johnson intends to pass a myriad of bills aimed at implementing his vision. This will be a long and arduous process, and it will be certainly necessary to cut down more deals to secure support. Oh my god, it will certainly be necessary to cut more deals to secure the support necessary to pass these bills. Buddy, this is too long. It will be necessary to cut more deals to secure support to pass these bills. Maybe you got a lot of unnecessary words in this sentence that make it kind of a jumble. Regardless, he believes that no task is too much if it shall render American society truly great. Fuck off with that. Form task forces. Then we must study the entirety of American society in detail. Need to look at every single aspect from education, poverty, infrastructure, healthcare, welfare, arts, and so forth. We must compare these aspects and pair our plans with our current budget to adjust accordingly. Since our studies are overall, the data we accrued can only be used to complete the final formulation to perfect the Great Society Bill. The Battle of Barcelona. Shocking scenes have emerged from growing crisis in the Iberian Peninsula as uncontrollable political violence threatens to spread across the nation. Catalonia has seen some of the worst fighting between political dissidents and government forces, who have been clashing day and night in the region's capital. In scenes eerily reminiscent of the Spanish Civil War, barricades were manned once again, and neighbor was put against neighbor as ideological leanings took over lives in Barcelona's residents. For the moment, the radical leftist trade union, known as the CNTFIA, and its sympathizers have wrested control of Barcelona and are now set for a bloody, prolonged struggle against the counterattack of pro-government forces. It's a tale as old as time for Spain, and the nation plays out the bloody, tumultuous years of the 30s once more. I didn't know the Principality of Andorra was independent. That's fantastic. Is Monaco? No. No, San Marino is. That's hilarious. Listen, man, would the Italian Empire really let San Marino go independent? I kind of doubt it, but maybe. For the good of the party, the Oval Office was illuminated by dim orange glow as the sun set in the distance. Inside, presidential aide Walter Jenkins enters to see a large handful of documents and folders for the president. President Lyndon Baines Johnson sits in his chair reading and signing other important documents. "How's your meeting with Senator Bennett go, Mr. President?" "About as well can be expected," replied an exhausted President Johnson. "As long as I don't try to completely overhaul American political system and disturb the status quo too much. The Democrats will ride along and vote with us." Jenkins sat in his seat, glow orange of the setting sun warming his skin. "But President Johnson, isn't that what you intend to do? Was that not your entire campaign platform, to reform the American political system and create a due society?" "In due time, Walt," replied Johnson, signing another document, setting it aside. "So you're gonna break your deal with the Democrats later on?" "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe they'll get in line and vote with us anyway. Maybe I'll get enough votes to ignore them and go ahead with my plans." "All due respect, sir, I don't think the Democrats will just let you do that. It'll cause a big fuss." "You ever tried to calm a panicking horse? Or more pertinently, a mule? You need to approach slowly. We'll go around the back when you're sure it trusts you. Politics is much the same. Right now, we're still on that approach." "That might work, but what if it doesn't?" "One thing at a time," Johnson replied. "For the moment, they'll have to hug our elephant, and I'll have to kiss their ass." So it goes. secure congressional support. In order for the Great Society program to pass, we need Congress. We must secure votes in the House and the Senate in order to get this massive bill to the president's desk. Let's formulate a strategy in order to secure the votes. We can possibly use a bully pulpit on our own party to bring in more inclusive allies to vote, or indecisive allies to vote, or we can make deals with some of the more moderate members of the MPP to get the bill passed. Either way, let's secure needed backing to achieve success. Backroom meetings. Yellow glowing lamps hang from its low ceiling. I think there's a sentence here we don't have. Besides the weak lighting, the room was extravagantly decorated. Velvet-lined chairs sat around a magnificently carved oaken table, and the walls were covered with matching wood paneling. Lovely room, said Lyndon Johnson, entering the room opposite of Jackson. Sorry about the lighting, Jackson replied. It's always been a bit of an ignored room. I asked for one to meet you in, didn't I? Suppose. In any case, we're gonna have to make this brief, Johnson. I have a lot of work to do. It's been long enough in here, and people start to notice, too. What do you need? Johnson sat down at the beautiful table across from Jackson. I'm gonna need your help. Democrats won't be complacent with my reforms forever. When they turn, I need the center MPP votes. What's in it for us? Why should I help you sway the center? Why shouldn't you is a better question. Supporting my reforms to get everything you've been begging for, and more. And what exactly we've been begging for? Civil rights, universal health care, greater social security, about 100 other things. Jackson pondered for a moment. If I'm gonna help you, you have to help me. Any bill the center calls for, I want your support. Alright, can't promise Republicans follow suit, but I'll throw you a bone when you want one. Excellent, replied Jackson, smiling. Think we're gonna get a lot done together, Mr. President. Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. This is just a fucking mess. Just look away, Alex. Wait a minute, is Finland an actual republic? Yeah, they're getting there. Junction in the road. The Oval Office sat nice, quiet and serene, opposed to its usual state of interruption after interruption. President Johnson, as was typical, sat at his desk, signing, reading, and doing the duties of a president. And the author is really convinced that a president just sits in his office signing shit all day, and I find it hilarious. Anytime they're like, what's the president doing? I don't know, he's signing papers. Yeah, that makes sense. Johnson finished signing his last paper, there you go, and looked up to Walter Jenkins and Edmund Muskie. Well, Johnson started. Been sitting here for a good couple of minutes. What do you need? Walter Jenkins shuffled in his seat. Gotta make a choice, Mr. President. If we want to pass some of our reforms, we can make friends with the Democrats, or we can press the far right. Nobody else has votes to secure a majority with us. Center are notoriously unreliable, as I'm sure you're aware. We're already making friends with the Democrats, aren't we? Asked Johnson. Yes, Muskie began, but they're proving pretty stubborn. If we want their support, we have to make genuine concessions to them. Alright. What do you mean by press the far right? Intimidation, blackmail, that sort of thing. Johnson said, scratching his chin. What do you think, Muskie? Personally, I don't think the far right will cave as easily as the Democrats, as we think. The Democrats are the way to go. I'll make the call. Now let's intimidate the far right into voting with us. Let's definitely give that a go. So we can go with on our own. We have a majority in Congress. No, we don't. We do, but it's not a supermajority. Or a deal with the center. Let's face it, we don't have the majority against our own party to pass the bill. Yeah, we need the center. Looks worrisome, however, we're lucky the MPP is divided between far right, far left, and even the moderate wing. Should be able to make a deal with the center MPP faction, break ranks against the rest of them in order to support the bill. Just have to give them minor compromises. Downfall of compromising with members of the MPPs, that portion of our own electorate might defect because many of our moderate members see this as an affront to stable American values. Yeah, I'm doing it. Oh no, I'm gonna lose some stability. I dig F. I care very little. We're doing it. enemy, my enemy, etc., etc. Dealing with the devils. Today, following several large planning and discussion meetings over the past week, far-right NPP has largely agreed to support President Lyndon Johnson's economic reforms. This news comes as a shock to the nation at large, but most of all to the Deep South, where the FR-NPP has their greatest amount of support. Senator Strom Thurmond, generally considered to be the leader of the far-right NPP within the Senate, had this to say. I'm generally heartened by the spirit of cooperation and compromise within this newly elected administration. President Johnson and I, along with a great number of our colleagues, managed to agree a new economic reform plan seeks to please all the parties. The President will have his great society, and I'll stand behind him. President Johnson has yet to make more than a passing comment upon the deal with the far right, but many expect he and the Republican Democrats made some sort of compromising, sacrificing some of their reforms in exchange for support in Congress. As of right now, changes agreed upon to the President's legislation have not been released. The nation waits with bated breath. Uh-oh. I didn't think that'd boost their popularity. Retro. And they're a slim minority. Okay, I'm like, it's been a minute since I checked on this. Yes, it has, Alex. Yes, it has. We were going by infrastructure priority. Yeah. I just finished up with all the 7s. Yeah, though we've researched more tech that I can go double up on the 9s again. 10. Nine. That would be 8. That's 16. 9 would be 18, so that's proper. And then guns. Yep. Nope. That was a mistake. Meant to click on that. Got any more 9s? We're just gonna do 9 and 10 here. Yeah, after that are the 8s. Okay, well, let's look at the 8s. Why the frig not? How many civilian factories? You go, so many. No, you're good, dude. You're good. Okay. Back to this. New York. Good old New York up here. That's correct. Yep, okay, that's all that. 10s, 9s, and 8s. Sweet. Pakistan becomes independent. Since India clutched its independence from a grip of chaos following the Second World War, it's been considered something of a powder keg to international observers, marred by the issues of ethnicity, religion, ideology, and circling foreign vultures. The upstart nation has had much on its plate. Specifically, brutal amongst these problems was the infamous division between Hindus and Muslims, a state of affairs that has finally, albeit chaotically, been resolved today. Fearful of perpetual Hindu domination, the northern Muslim minority has seceded in its entirety, declaring a new state known as Pakistan. Migration to and from Pakistan has begun in earnest across the subcontinent, as have particularly brutal incidents of violence. Spectators are divided on the development, some worried about the increasing violence gripping the region, and others praising a solution to a long issue of religious tension. Time will tell what reaction India and her neighbors will exert. Strange bedfellows. As President Johnson prepares the groundwork for his great society, he's found that the road to implementing his vision may be rougher than he originally thought. Many conservative Democrats are unlikely to take kindly to such broad government programs, and the far-right NPP are sure to oppose much of what he plans on sheer principle. No matter how well it plays out, no matter how well he lays it out. With the balance of power in the Senate more precarious than ever, all it would take is a few opposition votes to block his plans and derail everything that he's worked for. There is, however, a force within the Senate that might be willing to aid the president. The center MPP shares many of the president's core beliefs. Center leader Robert F. Kennedy having passionately spoken about the state of poverty in America in the past. For this reason, President Johnson has mulled over the possibility of an agreement between the Republican Democrats and the center-right MPP, the center MPP. In exchange for concessions to the center, they'll surely be willing to give Johnson the votes he needs to pass whatever measures he likes and implement the Great Society to its fullest extent. The only problem is the ruckus this is likely going to cause within his own party. After years of bitter divide within the two parties, it's likely to be much consternation about the idea of a partnership, especially from the Democratic contingent of the party. However, after much consideration, President Johnson has determined it best course of action and intends to write a long letter to Robert Kennedy offering an olive branch, laying out the ways partnership between the two men may bear fruit, not just for each other, but for America. For the good of America, we've corralled everyone we can to work with us. Republicans, Democrats, even the opposition in the MPP. If we're all working for the betterment of America, then we should all be on board with a finer education, reducing poverty, improving healthcare, and ensuring freedom in our land. Made our case to Congress. Now they need to get with the program. For the good of America. Siberian Black Army has unified Central Siberia. Sporadic news reports and announcements coming from Central Siberia have confirmed the region has fallen under the control of a previously obscure entity known as the Siberian Black Army. Based on the teachings of Nestor Makhno from the days of the Russian Civil War, a society called militarized anarchism was founded, where the population was not protected by the state, but by local militia and commanders that were to protect the communes and their anarchist system. This ideology first adapted in the lands between the Central Siberian Republic and Ginrikh Sagoda's Supreme Soviet, as both governments collapsed, has now asserted control over the entirety of the CSR's former territory by the use of armed force of this new Black Army, despite all the challenges that such a system has introduced. The free aviators! Yo, they got free aviators? As predicted, the Democrats are not at all happy with President Johnson's overture to the center MPP. As news of the letter to Robert Kennedy spreads, many within the Republican Democrats' junior party have expressed their anger at the president for looking to, quote, get in bed with our political enemies. Vice President McCullough today went so far as to suggest that going any further down the road of cooperation would be a serious betrayal of the union between Republicans and Democrats. It's thrown a spanner in the work of the president's plans, but not an unanticipated one. Already, he's moved to reassure Democratic senators that any cooperation with the center MPP would be purely on a basis of convenience, that it would in no way overturn the Republican Democrats' principles in the interest of gaining their support. This has quieted some of the murmurs, but there's still concerns at what exactly the center will demand for their assistance. Robert F. Kennedy has yet to formally respond to the president's missive, though many political pundits agree it's only a matter of time before he does, as this presents the first real chance for the MPP to gain taste of power after their defeat in the election mere months ago. Some have even noted the irony of a Republican president once again working with a Kennedy. Johnson and Kennedy meet. Robert F. Kennedy has responded positively to President Johnson's offer of cooperation and has agreed to meet with him at the White House to discuss the terms of agreement between the two parties. The meeting between the two men began pleasantly enough, with Kennedy taking time to praise some of Johnson's proposed reforms and complimenting him on his willingness to reach across the aisle to do what was right for the country. However, Kennedy has made it clear that there were things he wanted from this agreement than just good thoughts, and proceed to lay out conditions drawn up by both himself and other MPP senators. They would require any agreement to be made. Some of these issues were mostly compatible with President Johnson's intended course, but a stacking point did emerge. A key demand that Kennedy insisted he would not budge on is that the president would do more to resolve the ongoing civil rights issue, with Kennedy sadly admitting that his late brother, had not done enough to truly finish the job. While not necessarily opposed to it, President Johnson knew that extending the reach of civil rights legislation would not sit well with the more conservative Democrats and may well drive some of them to the far-right MPP. As such, the two men debated for hours, with Johnson expressing his concerns and Kennedy attempting to offer workable compromises, but never straying from the one main demand. In the end, the two men agreed to a deal they felt would be reasonably suitable for the both of them. President Johnson agreeing to Kennedy's core demands in exchange for concessions. It remains to be seen if the party will be as approving as the deal, however. Say no deal, or let's hope the Dixiecrats don't yell too much. Well, hope they don't yell too much. I'm sure it's fine. Nothing to worry about. Alrighty, we can move on to the Great Society. My fellow Americans, as your president, I want to announce the beginning of a new era. Wait a minute. I mean, we've essentially read this exact same thing, right? We know what the Great Society is at this point. I don't need to reread a summary of it for the 5th time. That our president would so readily capitulate to the demands of our opponents in the interest of furthering his own cause is a national disgrace. The MPP has no place in the ruling coalition, and I might remind all here today is a coalition between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. President Johnson continues down this path. I cannot say in good faith I can support the union between our parties any longer. And I'm sure many of my fellow Democrats can agree. These were the words spoken with barely contained anger by Democratic Senator Wallace F. Bennett today, and true to his word, they were echoed by many within the party. The agreement of President Johnson and Kennedy's center MPP has drawn the ire of the Democrats, who see the president's intent to deal with the center over his own Democratic partners as an act of betrayal. In addition, his promise to review civil rights issue has reportedly led to some conservative senators to quietly exchange words with the far-right wing of the MPP, perhaps considering whether they might find better leadership and representation under their banner. Newest international crisis is becoming yet another internal crisis, and becoming yet another hurdle for President Johnson's plans for the country. Some note he's especially currently shaking up a large, stagnant political theater. Reality for the president is much more of a headache. A small but nonetheless significant half of his party, threatening an outright break from their coalition, he'll have to find a way to placate the Democrats, or keep them aligned if he wants his young presidency to maintain the power to do what he feels is necessary. Let him complain. The Johnson treatment. In the last few days, President Johnson has been hard at work attempting to smooth over a rift between Democrats and himself. In a mixture of private talks and public speeches, he's engaged in a fierce charm offensive, utilizing his political charisma to convince his fellow politicians that he is on their side. He's made it clear, though, that he fully intends to work with the center MPP to pass crucial reforms. He firmly believes the bond between Republicans and Democrats is more important than ever, and they'll do whatever it takes to ensure that the bond is maintained. However, Johnson has taken a more aggressive and assertive attitude to some of the more stubborn Democrats who still see him as unworthy of leading him. Often bringing up the fact that Democrats' popularity hasn't recovered since the loss of the Second World War, Johnson has subtly reminded Democrats that their party would have been co-signed to irrelevancy by now had the Republican-Democrat coalition not been established. This, combined with some other rather bullish statements, some of which could be construed as mild threats towards certain senators, has rendered some of the loudest opponents within the party notably silent in recent days. For the time being, it seems the Democrats have been calmed, and President Johnson's deal with the center MPP now draws little more consternation than wild speculation from the media. While the drama may have abated, however, it's clear that cracks are beginning to show in the Republican Democrats. The party survives for now, but who can say what the future holds? Oh well. I'm okay with the MPP taking over. That was the plan all along. Takaki, elected Prime Minister of Japan. An unlikely victor, Tsukiji Kichi Tagaki has risen to the top of the power struggles in the wake of Hiro Ino's resignation. Campaigning on a promise of liberalization, the Admiral has made himself plenty of friends amongst the public, but also plenty of enemies, notably the Imperial Japanese Army. Of particular note is his crusade against corruption within the Japanese political system, which he calls a tumor upon the empire, and a betrayal of the Kokutai. Along this, Tagaki is a strong proponent of technocracy as a means of securing the advancement of the state. However, the Admiral's public support is noticeably shaky. Uniting progressive student activists and the Imperial Japanese Navy, it seems as though the Admiral is begging for political suicide. Only time will tell if the liberals within Taisei Yoku Sankai are strong enough to stand up to scrutiny. What are we doing on guns? We're doing mighty fine on guns. Tell you what, can I, okay, wait. Reduce that by one. Only one of these. If I can be producing 2 of these at a time, why not? Why not? Because it gets me more of this army experience that I desperately want. Ooh, decisions available. Let's check out what we got now. Oh my god, there's a lot here. Okay. The Great Society, the great nation of the United States. We can fix this new deal that never was, can still be realized. Okay. So we're using political power to improve the Great Society bill. That's interesting. Wow, this is very interesting. I have 600. What is this? 150, 200, 225, 255, 345, 395, 435. We're about 500 points for all of these. I'm gonna ignore these two for right now. Yeah, let's disavow the Dixiecrats straight up. Expand Social Security. Spot check state programs. Take a moment to reflect, I guess. Vice President wants his environmental movement boosted. You got it. Oh my god, that opened up so many more. Let's secure high school funding, education grants for soldiers, bilingual education. Wow, this is a lot. Establish new national parks. I'm in on that. Okay, now we're down to 170. Jesus Christ. We only have one Earth? Sure, that's cheap. Let's do that. Sideline anti-nuclear activists. Okay. This will help the environment. This will help the environment. This will help the environment. All of these. Sanction ocean dumping. This will help the environment? What? Excuse you? Okay. Clean air regulations. That's pretty fun. Cleanup programs. Absolutely. Combat water pollution. Yeah, everyone will like that. Okay, let's save up till we have 50. I'm totally okay with that. So I don't want to spend it on anything else. I'm blowing all of this political power very quickly. Any of you, any of y'all give some of that political power? You do. You also do. Welfare of the people. Expand civil rights. Okay, which of these do I do first? This is gonna just eat away at our political power, but seems important. I want the political power. Let's do teach them well. This won't unlock anything. And I need the political power. On its most basic level, education is a process of instilling knowledge into children to prepare them for the job market. However, it extends beyond practical applications. Education is more of a teaching and testing. It's an investment into the nation's children, America's future. While the United States has produced some of the greatest technological inventors in the world, ineffective teachers and poorly funded schools continue to leave millions of children behind, depriving them of the ability and the freedom to succeed in a demanding economy. It's time for the federal government to intervene to protect their future and the nation's. Wow, I'm gaining like 1 political power a day. That's amazing. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. Were you wanting to do these reforms? Nope. Sorry, it's time for the Indonesia War. Okay, you only cheated me out of 24 hours. I'm mad about it, but I'm not going to be that mad about it. I guess I'm just going to hold on to our political power for now because I'm fairly certain. I'm fairly certain I'm gonna need that political power is what I was going to say. How we doing? Can't deploy another airborne division, that's fine. Hey, free Indonesia, y'all want some volunteers? Alright, let's get started on this. What's his full name again? Bone Steel. God, what a name. Bone Steel? You're going to fight another war, buddy. Okay, we're not going to sanction ocean dumping or sideline nuclear activists. We're going to combat water pollution. Encourage environmental protection movement. Yeah. If I can get that next one, that'd be rad. If I can't, I can't. Indonesia aflame. Our analysts' predictions concerning the East Indies have proven frightfully accurate. Sukarno's attempt at using martial law to solve the crisis with the PKI has been a dismal failure. After years of frustration with this despotic administration, liberal Democrat Muhammad Hatta has risen up against Sukarno under the banner of Free Indonesia. While Sukarno may have stressed that everything is under control, Hatta is moving swiftly to seize the country, having already taken large swaths of Aceh, Borneo, and Papua. This could be a critical opportunity for the United States to gain a new ally against the Japanese domination of India, as long as we act quickly. Pick up the red phone. Given that both of us are nuclear... Wait, I didn't... Indonesia aflame. Okay. Given that we're both nuclear powers, it stands to reason we must tread carefully when interfering with the co-prosperity sphere. While Japan seems to be controlled by level-headed men, we must be careful to toe the line between isolationism and being mavericks. We'll place a call to the Japanese on the red telephone, ensuring them that we have no interest in sending Japanese boys home with American bullets in them. Yet our commitment to democratic movements around the world brings us a moral obligation to support those who fight for freedom in Indonesia. Reminding them of Indonesia's technical independence and sovereignty will caution them against launching an intervention into the East Indies and remind them that threatening the freedom of a sovereign people may have dire consequences. Oh shit, I should have sent planes. How many planes can I send? 160? Delightful. Alright. Did I decommission those last planes? I think I did. I did I not? I think that is the case. Yes, that is correct, Alex. Fantastic. Let's add a new wing. 100 improved jet fighters. And you know what? This time around, 60 short-range ballistic missiles. Now, close air support, tactical bomber. What's the difference in stats between these two before I commit to one? Jet bomber, ground attack 20, CAS, ground attack 35. Tactical bomber has wider range, maybe? Yeah, significantly improved range. Okay. Okie doke, kiddos. Air superiority, close air support, interception, and I don't care about the Navy. Oh, there we go. I'm like, why isn't this working? Well, Alex, they haven't approved of it yet. Oh, you haven't deployed from reserve. Mordrell secures Breton leadership. After reports of increased tensions between various political forces within Brittany in the wake of the German Civil War, the situation appears to have calmed down. International observers are confirming reports that Olivier Mordrell's crackdown on his opponents has resulted in successful counter against the upheaval. Both the extremist wings of the SBB and the democratic hopefuls in the SAV have been, for the time being, silenced. As Mordrell is in his third decade, heading the Breton National Committee, experts everywhere wonder if things will remain as they have since the Congress of Pontivy in 1940, or if Mordrell is finally ready to make his plans a reality. There we go. Get your butts over here. There we go. Planes are here. Planes beat my troops. That's perfectly alright. Hungary sides with Italy. After a concentrated effort to establish ties with the administration, Hungary is officially broken from the German pact, opting instead to throw in their lot with the Italians. It's not an easy transaction. The Italians paid highly to push Hungary into their orbit, but Italian promises of protection were enough to woo Hungarians. Germans are furious. An Italian puppet state now lies on their border. As of now, nothing has come of it, but there's no doubt the Germans are plotting their next move. And we are in Indonesia. Give us a couple of days to get nice and organized. Techs. How are we doing over here? It is 1965. None of this is 65 tech. This is all 66 tech. How about this? Oh, that's 4 years ahead of time. Slow thine roll, Alex. But I want it now. How we doing on? Yeah. Let's get air ground task forces. You know what? Let's go ahead and push in here. Fantastic. Construction. You gotta love it. You just gotta. You must love it. It is mandatory. Flammenwaffen, better engineered brigades will help out. Going after this. That's great. Engineering. Are we nah. We can get better aerial refueling. This will help strategic bombers, gunships, nothing I'm actively using. So let's look at wide out aircraft. This will help fighter range and CAS range. Yep, that's what I'm looking for. Ooh, there's a whole lot of you angry boys. All right. So we got two ways we can go down. Oh, I guess I need to do both, huh? Nope. I can do both. More words. Raise domestic support for the war. Gains American back channels, giving them political power. Now, what I want, in the context of this war, combat water pollution. You know what? You got it, buddy. We don't need to worry about domestic support. It's high. The Republican Democrats are middling, but aren't they always send them guns? No. We want to send in more military advisors. Sending in military advisors lets us raise the volunteers that we can send them. So I want whatever gives us the most political power. 14 days for 40, 14 days for 40, 28 days for 50. So yeah, I guess we're doing working the back channel. And a war of words. As the Indonesian conflict unfolds, it's critical that we control conversation surrounding it. While the American everyman might not have much of a reason to care about Indonesia, by framing the situation as a struggle against our Japanese enemy, we might win their hearts and minds. We'll hit the airwaves and ensure that the world and our own people know the righteousness of Hatta's cause, and this will induce our people at home to sympathize with the Indonesian struggle for freedom, as well as assure the free Indonesians that we have their back.
Pushing them back, sir.
Jesus. Y'all are pushing pretty hard. Can I take this? Nope, nope, nope. Stop trying, stop trying. Material construction. I mean, that's pretty much it, dog. I'm caught up. I got what I wanted. Let's get aerial refueling for our heavy bombers that I'm not using. Go forward one. Okay. Conversations from the street. Indonesia calls. San Diego Convention Center was host to a large, raucous NPP rally following the recent onset of hostilities in Indonesia. Much like the rest of California, America's finest city simmered with anti-Japanese sentiment. Now that an opportunity to strike back at their sworn nemesis had appeared, the simmer turned into a violent geyser, sweeping San Diego citizenry in equal parts rage and euphoria. To get them while they're down, Jeffrey Calloway shouted amidst a rabble-roused crowd. The college student carried with him an old propaganda poster from the Second World War, held high above his head, made indistinct from the forest of upraised arms around him. But he seemed to care little. Bomb them all, went the mantra. He and the rally breathed out as one as they unleashed their pent-up energy into downtown San Diego later that night. The mood in MCRS San Diego was contrastingly subdued. Grunts grumble as the grunts are wont, of course, but many also wore ribbons and pins from South Africa. Dusty, gory South Africa. Needless to say, a good number harbored a little appetite for another adventure so soon after the last. Lance Corporal Timothy Crossbow carried his opinions louder and more bluntly than his colleagues. "Already stuck our dicks into the veld," said the Marine. "Look how swell that went for us. A couple 10,000 of our boys sent back home with a flag." That's not true. We lost maybe 1,000 in that war, not 10,000. We wrecked that war. But sure, yeah, whatever. Now they're sending us home to some malaria-infested jungle in the middle of nowhere? Pay better be better, at least. Like its infamous volcanoes, Indonesia has erupted into the worst fighting the peninsula has seen since the Second World War. Free world clamors for an intervention to the rising sun's soft underbelly to loosen the empire's hold over the East Indies oppressed, but South Africa remains fresh in the minds of many. Does America have the will to stomach one war after another, they ask? We will always stand up to tyranny. Unless it's in our own country, and then we'll, act like, oh, but, we have to reform the police. Alright, sweet. You got cut off. Way to go, dipshit.
Move out.
Can you support that attack? Alright, sorry, just attack that. You get it in a circle. Take it out. Goodbye? Oh no, I didn't encircle you. Stop, 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 stop.
Move out.
No, no, no. You don't encircle me, thank you. There you go. I encircle you. I'm taking a lot of risks here. I'm being way too aggressive. There we go. Worth it. Worth it to pick off one division? Yes. Yes, it was. Hey, can I send more volunteers? I can! I can actually send another volunteer. That's wonderful. That's just wonderful. Alright, let's send the 1-0 first. How unexpected. I really didn't think I'd be able to send in another one already. Delightful. New decision. Oh no, the pressure from the... Yeah. War of Words is over. Fantastic. Still not up to 100. What is this thing I can do? Rally domestic. And you know what? We're disabling these for the time being. United we stand, 14 days to get 40 political power. This will raise domestic support for the war. This won't give any political power, fuck that. This will give Free Indonesia better political power and command. This will give me war support and send them guns. Yeah, absolutely, united we stand. The Indonesian war is not a vanity project for the United States alone, but a cause for the whole OFN to get behind. We can't shoulder the burden of aiding Hatta alone. It's time for the OFN to contribute to the liberation of Indonesia. We'll call in support from the OFN, not volunteers. That's a bridge too far. But we secure substantial equipment donations from our member states. Hatta's men will be armed with weapons from as far afield as Canada and New Zealand. And New Zealand's really not that far away from them. This will hopefully greater aid their independence struggles. I can take that. This won't be encircled, but be a good first step. Nope, okay, we'll hold off on that for the time being. Once my 2nd Airborne Division gets here, this will be so much easier.
Move out!
Well, hold on, I can push here and encircle you. Yeah, that's a plan. Is it a great plan? It's a plan. We'll give it a go. It looks like they're pushing, so hopefully I beat them to the punch. Alright, and then we attack you to stall that advance. Good. Can I send a 3rd? No. Okay. Getting greedy, Alex. You're goddamn right.
Move out!
Always greedy. Boom, goodbye.
Out!
Oh no, you got cut off. What happened? Oh no. So sad. So sad. Alright, and the other division showed up. Welcome aboard, Bucky. Buckaroo. Delightful. Can I send a 3rd division? No, that's fine. It's fine. Don't need a 3rd division. I mean, 2 will. 2 will do mighty fine. Somewhere beyond the sea. To the President of the United States, like our own nation so many years ago, like your own nation. So many years ago, ours, Indonesia, is locked in a struggle between 2 historic forces, liberty and tyranny. We're fighting in the hopes that one day our children will enjoy a country where they can speak their minds without censorship, where they can vote in fair elections to decide their own government, where they can enjoy freedom and pursue happiness. This dream is not yet realized. However, a revolution to depose the autocrat Sukarno is anything but assured in its victory. Trust me, buddy. We're gonna wreck them. Our brave soldiers fight and die in the jungles for a future they will not see. Their sacrifice must not be in vain. We're requesting weapons, to be direct. Guns will win the war. Guns will secure liberty for our people. Guns will defeat Sukarno and reveal the growing cracks in the Japanese Empire. If you will not assist us for the good of Indonesia, assist us for the ill of Japan. You got it, bud. And, you know, while we're at it, let's send you some military advisors. Delightful. Now what do? Well, we could get down to working on welfare. We could. This would gain national spirit, increase dockyard output. Oh, that's kind of nice. Send them CAS. Nah. Send them military factory. Not really interested in that. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Oh, this hidden hand would actually be quite nice, but that'd take a minute. This would also be nice too, sending in advisors. Let's work the back channels for more political power. No. No, you know what? Let's expand civil rights. Let's get started on that, because I think, yeah, the MPPC expected that done a while ago. Boom, get overrun, kiddos. All right. I want to push up here. Where's your capital? You're in Jakarta. Can I take that? Yeah. Shit, yeah, I can. Here. Swoop in here, beat their ass, encircle them. Beautiful. Okay, you are gonna go here, here, here. You are just gonna go there. No, get overrun, my dude. Nope, nope, don't you move. Not allowed. Okay, you're gonna have to wait for organization, that's fine. Alright, and we're gonna click here, then we're gonna control click and aid that attack. Bum, bum, bum. Just make sure this goes quickly. Sweet. There go your armies. No, you know what? Don't help them out. Encircle them. Get overrun. Beautiful. Alright. Let's rush these two and see if I can cut off anything that's down here.
Move out! Move out!
Sweet.
Move out! Move out!
Okay.
Move out!
And then fly down there. Grab these two victory points. And then... No, 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 no. Gotta go here. Gotta go here, buddy. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you're going the wrong way. Delightful. There we go. And they can clean up the remainder here. Yeah, it's not my problem. Hey, friendo, can I send you more? Well, I can. I can. I was not expecting yes to be the answer to that question. Delightful. Hey, hi, hello. I would like to send you more volunteers. You're attacking me? Oh, sweetie. That was a mistake. Go on, march on in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Saturday mornings with Tom and Jerry. In one surprise release, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer announced to millions of eager American children that the most famous cat and mouse duo has come to CBS. Press release from Broadcasting Channel itself said that now new episodes of the award-winning cartoon show Tom and Jerry will feature its weekend morning lineup alongside reruns of shorts made by Gene Deitch and its original creators Hanna-Barbera. The series has undergone numerous changes in both art style and content since its introduction to the viewing public in 1940, but MGM has promised to maintain the consistency, high quality of comedy it's known for. With the venerable Chuck Jones of Warner Brothers Cartoons fame in charge of the reboot, observers believe the Big Five studio has every reason to be confident in their claims. Regardless of the detail, fans of both young and old have since expressed their ecstasy in seeing the duo's slapstick escapades every Saturday morning with bags of heartfelt mail expressed to MGM's post office box. The future seems right for a centerpiece of an entire generation's childhoods. It may just remain such for another, as long as it continues to run. Oh no, you got cut off. What happened? Am I winning this? Yeah, I'm winning this. That's even with a river crossing. Yellow garbage. Hot, hot garbage. Okay.
Move out!
Well, that's one. Let's clean up down here. Where's your capital popped over to? Over there. Do we go sweep up the capital? What's the... 25. 20. Let's clean up this island and then go help out that one. There's no reason to leave this work half done. Especially when I have a third division on its way. I think we'll wrap this up by the end of fall. With any luck. Okay, you'll grab that. Then, yeah, there's a lot mired in here. That's 25. Can I, like,
move out!
March straight? I could. This doesn't allow a lot of encirclement, though.
Move out!
Because I'm not fighting the war, I can't see how close they are to capitulation. Part of me feels like the better move is to go push this, especially because it looks like Got some encircled kiddos over here. Alright, let's wait until... Alright, we took that. I don't want to fight that. Nope, we're going over here.
Move out!
Oh, never mind. We won! Easy peasy. And I'm glad I quit focusing on stuff concerning that war. Free Indonesia has won. It's that easy, kids. The Republic of China has declared war on the National Protection Army. Oh, sorry. Well, National Protection Army, your days, they seem to be numbered. Hey, good job, folks. Get disbanded. Belize votes for Commonwealth of England joining the OFN. New Zealand, Australia, Canada, all voted for it as well. I suppose I should. If that's a thing I can do, yeah, let's admit the Commonwealth of England. Absolutely. Muhammad Hatta's National Front wins the Indonesian Civil War. Following a grueling years-long conflict. I wouldn't call it years-long. Months-long conflict. All across the vast reaches of the Indonesian archipelago, the ragtag and diverse National Front, formed under former President Muhammad Hatta, has triumphed over Sukarno's loyalists. Amin Kabu, intellectual with Dutch-educated background, Hatta was a former ally of Sukarno. Through the early years of the Republic, I lost my place. Until Sukarno's government took a turn towards despotism. Hatta's victory is watched by the world with very excitedly with his proclamation of democratic, prosperous, and free Indonesia. Only time will tell whether his diverse collection of socialists, liberals, communists, and Islamists will be able to last the test of government, as well as continued pressure from the United States. We did it! Civil rights have been expanded, a vote in hand. I want to go down the civil rights tree first, and then pivot. If we're to ensure the future success of our party in the face of extremism from the MPP, we must court and assist the African-American community in making sure they're able to vote in every election. So many southern states within the Union are doing everything they can, such as literacy tests, poll taxes, and even mass lynchings, to prevent African Americans from exercising their rights to vote. We must put an end to this crime of oppression that we as a party have allowed to fester for too long. If our party supports Black Americans will happy... What? What? That's not grammatic. If our party supports the Black Americans will be happy and loyal to the Republican Democrat Party in future elections? I think there's a B that's missing here, but yeah, sure. Let's go for that. Oh, great. Liberals... Guess we'll put in a pause. Liberals reunify Kazakhstan. Previously restrained by the will of despots, the Kazakh phoenix rises anew, as a beacon of liberty and democracy in the steppes. First president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Sabit Mukhanov, in the appeal to the country, congratulated his fellow citizens with a victory over tyranny and ignorance, and proclaimed the final reunification of the Kazakh nation under a democratic rule, envisioning a prosperous future for the homeland after long years of bitter infighting and senseless bloodshed. A lamb amongst a pack of wolves, newly founded republic announced its desire for international recognition and cooperation with democratic powers. Time will tell if Kazakhstan can break away from its prolonged isolation. Oh, Poland, Poland's having a bad time over here. Polenfeltung. Screens across the globe have once more been filled with the stark image of the Führer against bright lights and red-black swastikas. The Greater German Reich is once more at war. Despite all attempts at negotiation, he claims the German people are involved in the... Oh my god, this fucking word. Verteidigungskrieg. German, dude. A war defense against violent terrorist government of the Polish state. Once more, German tanks will dig their muddy treads through Polish fields, and battle will rage. The largely unrecognized Polish government has responded their alleged crimes are a falsehood, created as a casus belli, but that nonetheless, they will fight to the end in the resistance to the German invader. Despite the elan of the soldiers in the new-founded Polish army, they are hopelessly outnumbered by the forces of the Einheitspact. The war is expected by many to be shorter and bloodier recreation of that of 1939. Yeah, not looking so hot, Poland, and it's over. Sverdlovsk unifies West Siberia. West Siberia has been torn by factionalism and cliques ever since the end of the first Siberian... ever since the end of the West Siberian People's Republic, or even before it. But now, one of these factions has managed to come out on top, and it's the Sverdlovsk military government, who I don't see here, so I'm assuming it's the Ural Military District is who we're talking about. Centered in the city of the same name, the junta has managed to defeat key opponents and other powerful remnants of the WSPR and extend its control over the less powerful ones. Threats to the regime are few and small, with most experts on Russian affairs agreeing that a force equal to the old socialist republic has arisen. However, the dictatorship's leader, Konstantin Rokossovsky, has refrained from making correlations with the WSPR, preferring to portray his regime as a new one. Oh my god! Our position secured. Today, after months of hard fighting across the archipelago, the Indonesian Civil War has come to an end. As loyalist forces surrender in drove and Sukarno's top generals formally declare the fight over, with him ousted, the Popular Front of Free Indonesia has taken power. Comprised of Republicans, oppressed ethnic groups, communists, and Islamists, the ragtag army proved too strong for loyalist forces. Already, a democratic government is being set up in Jakarta, with much of the former rebel leaders taking up leadership positions. With the victory of Free Indonesia, the administration of blank has seen a noticeable increase in popular approval. Having promised the defeat of Sukarno and the triumph of democracy, the president's promise appears to have become a reality. Exactly to what degree the United States' support for the Indonesian Civil War remains a matter to debate. Excuse you, I won that war for them. But for now, America seems happy to see a favorable conclusion to the war. We grow more unified, we get more national focuses, we remove all of these national spirits, we gain stability and political power. Social democracy loses appeal, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of every time I unlock new focuses, it resets my progress. You know what? I'm cheating. Fuck you. I'm cheating because it's stealing time away from me. It's still like a week off of Teach Them Well, and it's still like 3 weeks off of this one. So you know what? Vote in hand. Just instant complete. There we go. All right. Outlawing literacy tests? Yeah, let's do that. Literacy tests have been around since the 1890s and made sure that African Americans cannot vote because the demand from various states' governments to have them recite the entire Constitution, be able to read great classics that not even any poor Southern white man was ever required to do. However, it's important for the American population to be able to read to be more informative of who to vote for. This entire practice has not only been disenfranchise African Americans in the South and secure the continued vote of extremists who wish to ruin the American way of life. Let's write a provision that will ban these tests from the bill once and for all. Welcome back from Indonesia, lads. Get back to drilling. Just constant drilling. Can't make another airborne division. Not yet. How's our production going? Am I short on anything? We have so many more anti-tank guns than I need. All right, let's cut that in half. You know what? Oh, nope, that just filled up other things. Yeah, you know, a single line of that's fine. Single line of that is fine. I hadn't had it paused. Oh no. Well, that's fine. That was maybe a subpar way to be running our economy for a little while, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's probably not, but it's fine. I want replacement CV for our CAS. That'll work. And then what am I pumping into now? Girl, I don't know. Can I add another unit? 1, 2. Yeah, one more on here. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought this was blue. I was so excited. I'm like, I can produce the stuff I actually want to produce. No. No, not today, Alex. Not today. Sorry. We need more fucking rubber? Are you serious? Central African Republic isn't giving me, like, a goddamn any amount of rubber. Alright, well, fair, but alternatively, fuck you. 1965? Do I want resource gain efficiency? Not really, dude. I might want it for better synthetic refineries down the road. Better air cover? Yeah. Yeah. Meh. Big meh energy. Big meh energy. Fuck, I don't know what I want to do here. Well, this is only a little ahead of time. Should go ahead and knock that out. We're almost to the end of the year. It's quite exciting. What do I want to pump that additional one into? I mean... You know what? Just make these 3 and 3. Is that what we need right now? No, but I don't really know what we need right now. Ah, there we go. Improved refueling. I would like to get a better mechanical rangefinder. Just in case I decide to redesign our navy at some point. God knows why would I. Holy shit, we have a lot of air experience. It's not capped out. Yeah, not yet. Let's wait until we have 500. Death of a Supreme Court Justice. Ah, rip. Now let's define special provisions. A Voting Rights Act bill can possibly contain several other provisions that make sure that various southern states are unable to pass changes to voting laws that can disenfranchise and prevent African Americans from voting. These states would require federal approval for voting law changes. This would secure more of the black vote for Republican Democrat Party. However, the optics would be bad for some of our Democratic colleagues who represent Southerners who are loyal to our party. What? God, it's a word soup sometime. I get what they're trying to say, but could have said it with half the words. Implementing these special provisions would most likely enrage Southerners who vote for our party and have them possibly switch to the MPP instead. It's up to us to decide if we really want to secure it. You do it. Just pass the Civil Rights Act, buddy. It's been put off for way too long. I think we might get to the end of the year before anything else exciting happens. It's very exciting. Didn't take 2 hours to get through 1 year. I mean, we're not through it yet. Look at you, being in my alliance. Hell yeah, buddy. Is National Protection Army making ground? You succeeding in beating China? That's terrifying. Alright, it's December. Almost done. Pressure from the NPPC. I'm trying to pass the legislation, alright? Oh god, that's a lot. Alright. We're pleased this punch that our new ally, Scotland, their army is one of the best in Britain, and their defensive position is practically unparalleled. Their one problem is their limited resources. Scotland is small and never built up the same kind of population that England had. They made up for this with the British Army training and equipment, but the equipment is getting old, and trainers are even older. They need updating for the modern era, a factor that the Scottish government has clearly acknowledged. Sent a request for American assistance in upgrading their arsenal, providing military research from our vast library, and creating shared training scheme with American troops stationed in Scotland. Further cooperation with the Scottish can only help with the eventual liberation of Europe. The fruits of our research should be shared with all the nations of the free world. As always, the only limiting factor is cash. Hell yeah, do it. We have a special relationship with Scotland. Debating the Voting Rights Act. Today, Congress convened to discuss the terms of a bill of the proposed Voting Rights Act. This bill is designed to provide general provisions for prohibition of racial discrimination in local and state-level voting. Despite fierce opposition from the far-right MPP and muffled grumbling from within the Democrats, we've managed to decide on a number of provisions already. This includes forbidding the implementation of any voting qualification, prerequisite, or any other act of interference against a person's right to vote on the basis of race, color, or language. A debate has arisen on the matter of special provisions that may be added to the bill. These provisions include legally requiring all jurisdictions to provide election materials to voters in multiple languages, allowing federal oversight in any state or local level change to election laws, and the appointment of federal examiners to oversee voter registration functions and make sure the provisions are being implemented. The debate has grown fierce, with the far-right MPP and some Democrats arguing that these provisions amount to federal tyranny, while the center MPP insists they are absolutely necessary to protect voting rights of Americans most vulnerable. Many within the Republicans, meanwhile, argue that a compromise would be best, allowing for some provisions in return for conservative amendments. How strong these provisions are, if they're implemented at all, will need to be decided before we can take the bill to vote. Too many provisions, and the Democrats are likely to complain. Too few, and the center will not be happy. We need full equality. Add all the provisions. All of the provisions. Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act is ready to be passed. The bill will be a landmark, a piece of legislation that will free more of our American people from legal oppression. Our bill will protect voting rights for all Americans, including whites and racial minorities of all colors. Literacy tests, poll taxes, various punishing clauses, and other forms of discriminatory racism within the electoral process will be eliminated. Many white Americans in the South will rage, but we will push forward. We'll become a stronger union, and we'll become stronger and better people as a result. Many states will resist, but those states will submit to federal law. Our country cannot waver in the face of racism and bigotry, and we will make sure of it. For a better future for all. Choosing our Secretary of the United States nominee, we're going with a Lib. Oh my god, that's right. I researched more tech, so these with high infrastructure can potentially have even more factories. You got 4? It's perfect. No, you're full. Alright, great. You have... Where's the 9? 9 is New York City itself. 9 civilian factories. Pump that up to 10. Now we're on our 8, so that's Illinois, New York. New York? How you doing on civilian factories? 8 out of 18. 9 out of 18. Illinois, you got... Oh, Jesus Christ, there's so many civilian factories in Illinois. Alright, that's good enough for now. Do we want to lock down the 7s? No. Nah. That's not necessary right now. Tell you what, nothing's pressing, so let's just scale that up to 10. If I need to replace it, I'll replace it. But for the time being, it's looking good. Can I add a unit here? Yes, I can. Can I add another? I can. I can't. All right. You need more infantry equipment. Great, I just put more into that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 are done. There's 4 more. That's going to be a total of 10. So 9 plus 4, 13. Plus 16, Alex. Just keep this simple. Yeah. Yeah, that checks out. I mean, I guess. What, that's 10 plus 4 is 14 remaining. There. That's right. I think that's right. Quick math. Air ground task forces. Delightful. Ah, that's all done. Sweet. And these are 66 techs, but it's tempting to get started on them early. That's done. Naval tech isn't quite time for that. These are going to be 1970 techs. Go with air superiority. Tell you what. Let's go for the Navy techs. Yeah, I figured we had some of these. Let's make our Navy better. Have we used our Navy at all? No. Do I want to? Fuck no. But, you know, let's improve them all the same. Just out of curiosity. Nope, still can't train more special forces. One day, but not today. Not this year. Bum ba-da-dum, ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum. I could still pull out of Africa. We're never doing that. Alright, we're almost done. Year's over. 1966 has arrived. Fantastic. 1965 wasn't that bad at all. We'll save this as low my dude at number 3. Now, I'm gonna keep going, seeing as that only took an hour and a half. I think I got another year in me. But if you were watching this on YouTube after the fact, this is it for today. So until tomorrow, I'm gonna say toodaloo. Take care. I will see you then. Bye-bye.